Psalm 23.
Welcome to the Carr and Seguin Show, hosted by Devon Carr and Paul Seguin, where two Michiganders dive into real estate, outdoors, community building, and everything in between. What up, broski?
What's going on, man?
Welcome to episode 108 of the Carr and Seguin Show. Yes, sir. We are still continuing our breaking down the data, which if you haven't been listening lately, that's your fault. You should be. But we've been going through a lot of different Metro Detroit area cities, breaking down the data, whether it's fact or fiction, if the news media is making it out to be as bad as they say it is.
Oh, on that point, I mean, first off, hopefully everyone had a very successful turkey season opener.
Did you?
I have not.
No?
No.
Did you see any?
I saw
Did you call
a
any
white
in?
hen. No.
What? Just a hen?
No. I only got to hunt the mornings. Saturday morning I hunted, and then it was pretty rain. It was drizzling.
Yeah,
and heard some gobbling, and then once they hit the ground, I didn't hear anything else, and I saw one white hen cruise by in the woods. But when that sun came out, we had other things that we had to do for the rest of the day. The sun came out, and I saw some toms sitting in the field, of course.
Of course. And
then Sunday, a lot more gobbling. I did not dress appropriate.
No?
For the weather. I think I lasted about 2 hours, and I was freezing.
Done.
And I went in. And I had some other stuff to do, but maybe this weekend.
Well, that's actually true, because I remember Sunday when you woke up, it felt really like, wow, this is going to be a nice day.
Yeah, it wasn't
And
bad.
then it felt like it just plummeted as the day went on. Like it got cooler and colder. Like, didn't the sun go away a little bit too or something, if I remember right?
Yeah, it did, because it came out and it was like it was a sunny morning.
Yeah,
because all the turkeys were gobbling, and then as the morning went on, it did get cloudy. The wind picked up,
and it just got chilly.
And then I was freezing.
You didn't do an all day sit?
No.
Oh, man,
I don't like the yard bird that much. Where I do an all day sit.
Yeah.
But besides that, so we're recording the Wednesday after turkey opener.
Yeah.
Can't remember if it was last Thursday or Friday or Monday, but we were watching the local news in the morning. This pertains to what we've been doing.
Yeah.
And the local news said, well, if you're a home buyer, this is not the time to buy.
Really?
You want to stay away from buying. And then today, they had a segment on, this is the best time to sell. It was like, oh my gosh. How? How?
How do you contradict yourself so much? It's funny too. That speaks to that same. I thought it was today. Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick, or it may have been yesterday. Let's see.
Well, while you're looking at that, Paul,
Yep.
Devon, do you call while you're sitting there, right? You're not just sitting.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really have a place where, they show up like every day where I can kind of like there's a few.
You're trying to pull them in, yeah.
Yeah, there's a few fields around me where every morning that I drive my kid to daycare, there are 10 birds out there. Every afternoon when we come back, they're back out there.
Yeah.
I don't really have a spot they always come through.
So
I'm always trying to pull them in the morning or, sometime during midday or something as they leave the hens.
So you're saying they kind of act just like deer. When they know that you're there in the stand, they don't come around, and as soon as you leave, your cameras blow up, and they're right in the field, right? Yeah, right where I just was. Fancy that. It's like they're just like, oh no, he's there. He's there. Don't go in. No, it must have been yesterday because I'm not seeing it. But it was funny. I was looking at on the app, for your stocks, right? And I always just kind of sometimes, because I don't really pay attention that much, but I always just like to skim the articles and just read the headlines, see if there's anything interesting.
Right.
And it was funny. One of the articles headline said, let me just summarize it because I think I didn't read it. Is they were like, so multiple national wide predictions for 2023 showed a decline in home pricing, right? Like as we were moving through the fall and winter, it seemed like they were updating every couple of weeks with different numbers of what they were predicting in home values to do, and a lot of them across the board. I think hence of why we're doing a lot of this right now is saying like the data doesn't really back what they keep on saying,
right,
or even predicting to happen in the home values, and it said. Even though with multiple national predictions saying home values should decrease in 2023, the data doesn't prove it. Like, it's not happening right now. Like, where is it? And it's like, duh, because that's exactly what we're doing. It's just like the data doesn't say anything that all the news media is trying to tell you or predict. It's like, well, what are you guys looking at to predict this?
Right.
Because if we just sit and look at the data like we've been doing the last couple of weeks, like, no, it's still a pretty dang good real estate market, and yeah, it is a great time to sell,
right,
and a great time to buy,
right. Because if prices keep going up, that means you bought and your home value is going up.
Yeah,
so you're making money as you live there.
Correct. And honestly, like, if you were to buying real estate is you buy and you hold. I mean, like it's a long-term investment. It's not, I don't know. You do
it's not a stock market.
Which it was funny. I said that too. Like, it's not the stock market. He was like, well, isn't that kind of what you should be doing with the stock market as well, as buying and holding? I'm like, well, yeah. I think just with this crazy volatility that we've seen, it's just like, oh no, sell, oh buy. But it's not that frantic. It's like, I don't know. Isn't it like the average homeowner lives in their house for 7 years anyways?
Yes.
Or something like that. I think it's correct.
Yeah.
That tells you right there. Like, this isn't something that you're buying now and go, oh, well, what if there's a little correction? Okay, great. But are you moving tomorrow to where that correction would even make a difference?
Right.
No. Okay. So why is it a bad time to buy right now? Because I guarantee in 7 years, you're going to appreciate. And you're going to look back and go, oh, so my house is worth more than I bought now. Yeah.
Right.
That's a good investment.
Right.
I mean, you look for things to invest in where there's growth.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'm trying to make it sound just so dummy down, but I think it's just sometimes it's like you got to dummy it down a little bit. Like, stop overthinking when it's like, oh, what's going to happen? You're always going to. I think here's a life like there's always going to be a question mark in life. Period. Right. Nothing.
I think you're absolutely
nothing
right.
is guaranteed. So just to say, oh, well, now is a good time to buy. Well, tell me when it's not.
Right. It's whenever your situation
is good for it. Right.
It makes sense.
I don't think that there's a bad market to buy in.
No.
Ever.
I mean, you're normally doing it because it's the right time for you.
Yeah.
Whether it's you just had 2 kids and your 2-bedroom house or apartment or whatever is getting a little small. The kids want their own room, and
it's the right time to get out.
You're downside. Maybe it's you never use your 3rd floor and you're tired of cleaning it. I mean, it's whenever the situation's right for you is when it's time to buy or sell.
Right.
I mean,
or with buying, it kind of goes back to what Paul and you guys have been saying forever is, you want to pay 100% interest on rent.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there comes a point where it's just like, I don't know, man. Real estate has made a lot of people a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
Real estate is one of the largest industries that I remember reading an article where it was like, I can't remember the exact percentage. It was a large percentage of millionaires. The largest percentage of their wealth was either made or is currently being held in real estate. So it's like, if that's what the wealthiest people are doing, don't you think you should take a little lesson from the wealthy people that say, hey, obviously they're putting their money into real estate. There's a reason why.
Right.
Right?
Well, I mean, when you talk about, maybe it's Warren Buffett or whomever, and you talk about their net worth, their real estate is
a huge chunk of
a
it.
giant chunk of it.
Yeah.
So, if you took your net worth and you don't own a home, and then if you put it in, essentially, if you bought a home, your net worth has skyrocketed.
Right.
From where you were.
Mm-hmm. Just because of your real estate.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you really take a large, like we're in our data that we'll get to here in a second is only really a 3-year snippet of the data of what the real estate market's been doing. But if you were to take a large history chunk of home values, it only is a graph that, sure, there's dips, and like the stock market has dips, but the real estate market is just this. It's this dip that constantly is going up over time. So, and like I've said many times on the show, like I like investing in something that I can see, feel, and touch. It's right there. Not just throwing money out into this world, this web world, and saying, okay, hey, grill my money, and you stare at it. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of the stock market crap.
Well, it's more.
I think it's all rigged to begin with.
Obviously, it's very exciting if you put, take gambling. That's kind of almost what it is. Investing is just more long-term than I would say than gambling. But if you put $20 in and all of a sudden half hour you say you won $100, it makes you feel good.
Right.
Same thing, I guess, with watching the stock market. But, if you're investing in your home, getting to see it every day, to
and
actually see it and improve on it, I think it's more exciting than...
Well, I think that control part too is just where it's like, yes, the real estate market will fluctuate up and down, but it will be over time. It will go on this upward climb,
right?
With the deviations as it climbs. But at the end of the day, you have really the ultimate control over how well that home appreciates, in its condition. If you just let the freaking thing go,
paint chipping everywhere,
you didn't do yourself any good, because it's going to suck when I come to your house and you think you have a $200,000 house and be like, no, it's probably more like 160 because everything is outdated.
Right.
And you've done nothing to it. Right. Like you said, your routine maintenance was neglected.
Right.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things you might think about too is with the stock market every day, just like Paul just did, he's pulled up his phone. What's my Apple stock worth today? Boom, he's got to answer. He can't do that. What's my house worth today? Right? It's more of a long-term strategy of not looking at it every day, and it's not convenient to see how much is it worth today compared to tomorrow. If you're gaining or losing until you either run a special report or you buy or sell. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't make money on it unless I sell it. Not necessarily. You can pull money out of equity.
Right. Yeah.
Sure, you're going to pay some interest on it, but again, it's money that's available that
keeps you liquid.
Is you, yeah, and like you said too, your net worth grows with it.
Right.
And it's maybe not even one. Maybe investing in real estate's always been an option for you. Do it. I think real estate investing is a little bit more fun. I've dabbled into it a little bit over the last couple of years and done a few myself, and it's nice because you remove the emotion. It's just numbers. Yeah. As long as the numbers make sense, you just do it. And I'm still working on a few other clients to have that same idea. But and honestly, I guess it's hard for maybe the first couple to remove that emotion from real estate. It's like, it's not your house. You already have your house.
Right.
This is just straight numbers.
Yeah.
It's buy, reno, what's it worth?
Right.
If the numbers make sense and there's a good enough profit, do it. Let's go. Sign it up. Make it happen. I think they still kind of get too much like, oh, well, my name, like the emotion of it.
Right.
Instead of just, no, this is a vehicle for income. Whether you're going to buy and hold and rent, or just simply do like a flip and fix and
right.
turn and burn on selling it as soon as you fix it up. So, but that's funny though how they go from saying,
Oh yeah, I saw that this morning. I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. This is awesome.
Should have recorded it and made them look bad here on the show. Like,
couldn't-
here's your
I couldn't
prime
do that.
example of why everybody is confused.
I couldn't do that to my local station because I do like them.
What is it, the Dexter station?
No, just my local news. You know, I just like them.
Fox 2? Channel 7? Channel 4? You're not going to say it.
I'm not.
He
gonna
ain't
say it.
telling you, Paul.
It's my local. It's my local station.
He's got some brand loyalty there.
It's on.
Yeah.
It's on the television.
Yeah. They could be wrong, but he still loves them.
But, I mean, we'll get on the data here. But, like, it's a prime example of why nobody knows what to do.
Well, yeah.
And they come to us, or you have conversations with people like, well, is it really a good time to buy? I'm like, well, why is it not? Tell me, like, let me just hear what you've heard first.
Right.
Is really like where I like
let's
to
go
try
from there.
Yeah.
Let's go from
Before I just try to like hammer it home to you of why the data says it's a good time to buy or sell. Where are you hearing it from?
Right.
Your neighbor, your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle, or the news channel?
Right.
You know, that just clearly goes from one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, because realistically, Paul, how long does it take you to pull up those reports when you were with a client to prove the data right there that quickly?
Not long at all.
5 minutes?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that's what I was we need to do like a live before we leave, a little Facebook live and be like, you know what? Whatever you've been hearing, we've posted all of the stats. You want to know whether you are in whether the real estate is good or not, just go to our show, read the facts, and know that it's all fake.
Right.
I just wonder where they're like, where are these freaking publishers getting their information from? And how they have the audacity to lie to people. Anyways. Let's pull up the data. Let's talk. What are we doing? We're doing Hartland?
Heartland.
Hartland! Is it Hartland Township or is it Hartland? I think it's
Hartland
Hartland Township. Yeah. All right, let's throw up the first, what is it, the median, maybe the average sales price?
Which one are we going with?
I
Talk
don't
to me.
What do you got up?
Nothing yet. But I'm ready.
Have Johnny put
average
yeah.
sales price.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Let's do the average. All right, so we're starting with Hartland today, Hartland Township. What do we got? What's a little inside to Hartland? Hartland is north of Milford, right?
Yeah.
Northwest?
Northwest.
Northwest, kind of more over by 23 and 59.
Rural.
Rural, definitely rural. So let's put a little asterisk next to these numbers, meaning that it is more rural than some of the cities that we have done, as we'll probably see that into maybe price, maybe days on market is going to be a little higher than maybe some of the cities we've looked at, and maybe even supplies. We'll just put that out there. It's a little more rural, but I'd say even now it's becoming less.
Yes.
It's getting
Well, I mean, Hartland Glen golf course. I mean, they're
condos.
that used to be 36 holes. Now they're.
Yeah.
I used
Short.
to go there. I think it was when I was growing up. I used to go golfing there every birthday.
Yeah.
Every my birthday, we used to golf there.
Go to Hartland. That was actually what I used to do too for when I first, because I didn't start playing golf till I was right before high school, freshman year. And then I did the same thing through high school. We went to Fox Creek. We'd play 9 holes and then eat right there in the clubhouse.
Okay.
And it had to be right next to the window so I can see the course.
I bought my first set of golf shoes, first pair of golf shoes at the pro shop there.
Yeah.
On my birthday.
Hartland Glen.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I'm right on that, right? They're building condos.
I think so. I mean, they got the
they're
whole
taking
right
18
by-
out of it.
Yeah, right off of M59. Those holes there. I mean, they got it all.
It's all gone.
It's all torn up, and
So they're not trying to wind it through.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know.
They probably just took one of the 18 and just said,
But the stuff
Housing.
right off M59 is
It's
all
gone.
torn up.
yeah. So they're probably keeping that back.
I mean, I
18
can't imagine they could have snaked homes in there. I mean, it was.
tight.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like that's something pretty tough to do after it's already
Well, you got 36 holes. Like, you could purposely, like, okay, try to, like, create roads. But, I mean, they probably cut into the builder's profit. He didn't like that.
Right.
And honestly, like, I don't know, like, Tanglewood works through the community. There's, like, Prestwick does, too, right down the road from it. I mean, that's a super... you buy a house in there, you have to buy a social membership at minimum. But I mean, I was talking to somebody that, like, there are some good courses that weave through the homes, but then it's just like we were just like, yeah, like, I don't need homes in between holes. Just give me a good wide open golf course kind of thing.
But isn't that then we're going to be reducing our ball speed?
With being wide open?
Yeah.
Well, more so of just, like, no homes.
Right.
Like, those courses are better. Yeah.
I know what you're saying. Well,
No.
I know. I don't know if I've said this story before on our show, but I have a buddy that he did a mortgage for someone who bought a house on a golf course. He doesn't golf. And it was like 6 or 7 months later, he said he was selling it. He said, I just can't understand why these people can't hit the ball in the fairway. They keep hit my house.
Dude, there are some freaking hilarious YouTube videos on people that live on the golf course and clearly just, like, are not golfers or are dumb enough to not realize, like, you bought a house on a golf course.
Right.
Did you just expect nothing to happen? And I just saw this one, like, a couple weeks ago where this guy just goes berserk on this group of guys. And the one guy just is like, had enough. He's like, what are you yelling at us for? You're the idiot who bought the house just left of the green. Like, what do you think's going to happen, dude? And he's like, well, you could tell this was like a multiple occurrence situation for this guy because I'm sure this is probably maybe the 100th or more.
He's just been stewing on it.
Yeah. Where it's just like clearly the dude's been hit many times and he's just furious. Yeah, so there's a tip. If you're not a golfer, and I know they have usually some golf communities have some really nice homes. Typically, they're probably pretty nice. But if you're not a golfer, do not buy a house on a golf hole. Maybe try to find an off street where there is no holes around you if you like the community. Because the community living, especially if it's a nice course or maybe even a country club, it's kind of nice.
Oh, yeah.
You can have golf carts and drive around,
Right.
drive up to the clubhouse. Usually, if it's a nicer course, they got probably a decent restaurant, bar and grill right there
Gym,
for it.
pool.
Yeah. There's some good advantages to that. I know it's like Oak Point here in Brighton is super high demand all the time. Just because it's that community living.
Right.
And you got the lake right there. Yeah, it's nice. I could dig just going for a cruise in the golf cart. Like, hey, let's just go for a ride.
Right.
Go see some neighbors. Probably crack a couple brewskis while we're at it.
You have to. Be un-American if you say that.
Have your just tricked out golf cart on lifts and rims and speakers in it, just riding. Probably ride smoother than my wife's van. Seat belts. Can go 45 miles an hour. Record 18 holes played due to a 45-mile-an-hour golf cart. Anyways, let's get to the data. Let's check it out. So average sales price for Hartland Township in Livingston County. They are up 2.5% year over year at $395,910. Make you holla.
Whoop, whoop.
I love what this already is showing us, and I know a lot of what we keep pointing at here is like a broken record, which I'm not surprised, and we're going to continue to be a broken record because I'm pretty sure it's what's going to continue to be shown. But it's funny how if you look back to the data, which clearly I'm going to say there's probably a couple months because I just did the year one, but March, February of 2022, which probably That's when rates started to go up a little bit, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
Early
there's
spring,
still-
late
yeah.
spring, was they started to kind of go up to mid threes a little bit.
Yeah.
It was a little slower, but they started to rise
Right,
for
yep.
sure. Because that was really when they started to do those rate hikes,
Yes.
the Feds.
Yeah.
So we go from 2020, which is the far left, or at least my far left, it should be your far left. You're watching it on a video like this. 2020 graph. What y'all making fun of me here,
You're
huh?
doing great.
Left.
Doing
right.
great, Paul.
Yeah,
Right? Well, it's not an L for the guys on the screen. It is for me. Far left is when the COVID crazy market and it over here. And then it peaked right there. And it went down. Again, rural. We're in a rural area. So typically rural areas will just kind of get a little affected faster because there's just less homes, less sales, where it's going to affect it just on a shorter period.
Right.
But then, bam, Hartland has had just this great, I would maybe put a span of, 6 months right there, where it just, now it's even above. Would you agree? I mean, I'm kind of guessing, but wouldn't you say where we're at now is a slightly higher than the peak of 2022 is?
Where we are now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
It's a little higher.
Three.
But wouldn't that,
Three.
if we were in a bad market to buy Fox News, was that it? Was it Fox 2 News?
I don't think so.
No. Don't you think it should be way lower? Shouldn't have the graph just continued to...
You would think.
I don't see it there. So again, average is adding up all of the sales prices and dividing by the number of homes sold. So this is an average. Okay, so let's go to the median. Let's see what the very middle sales price was. So it takes out those outliers. Look at that. Look at that just dramatic drop. And then we're right back, or not, maybe not as high on the median, but we shot up again. So the median sales price $366,620. Good price point for Hartland, which I would expect because you're probably going to have some homes with some acreage,
Right.
Potentially, a lot more.
Yeah.
Common, maybe an acre or 2 or 3.
Right. Versus,
Probably a couple ones in there. Maybe got 10 acre lot, which would be really nice. But that explains it because we're a little bit lower. The average was a little higher, which we all agreed on.
Yep.
It's probably where that 2.5% increase came from. And I would say this one is a little lower, just under 1% negative, almost 1% negative.
Mm-hmm.
So which I would say, hey, that's probably correct because of just what the temperature we've had over the last year.
Right.
But 1%.
Isn't much.
That out of 366,000 is what? $3,600 bucks?
Mm-hmm.
I could tell you right now, I've lost more money on the stock market in the last year than that. And thank God for that for taxes when I was handing in my the little 1099s for the stock portal. Like, yeah, that's a lot of lost gain there, sir. That's going to reflect, right? But yeah, I mean that does not spell homes have tanked.
No.
They did. For a very short period. I mean, I would say maybe a couple of months. It slowed down. But now, I mean, that was January. That's January. I mean, that's right in the middle. Say probably from March to June, Hartland was sipping on coffee, just chilling. And then, boom, they cracked open a couple Mountain Dews and they jacked right up.
I'm guessing it was.
You like that? A little,
Love that. That was a good one.
It's probably they were getting ready for hunting season. Then hunting season, they wanted to hunt on their land one last time, and they're like, "All right, let's sell it."
Yeah, or they're like,
that's what
I need more land.
Yeah.
I'm sick of this little 3-plot acre here. I want 20, babe.
Right.
Minimum. Or go to the Colber's farm at 500 acres. That's what they wanted to buy. So again, I don't see a bad market. Let's go to what's our next one? Days on market.
All right.
Is that what it is?
Sure.
Average, median.
Average days on market.
Let's do it.
Sounds great.
Let's do it. All right, average days on market for Hartland, as you can see here, that's a total. That's a total divided by the number of homes sold. So this is your average days on market. So it takes from when it gets to the listing to pending days on market. So obviously, wow, yeah, we're at 31 days on market, which, I mean, it's like it went high in late 2020. You're almost at 45 days. And then it's shot all the way down to they were below 20 for a hot minute. Average. And now we're back up to 31 days. I mean, 31 days is not bad for a rural area.
No.
Not at all. And I always think that's funny, too. And I know if we've mentioned this a time or two, but I'm just going to remind the audience who's listening who maybe doesn't know this. But, during the 2020-21 year of crazy, insane real estate market, homes were just selling in one weekend, right? Everyone thought homes just don't last more than 24 hours. But you know what the average MLS days on market still was? 25. And then when I would show that to people, it's impossible. Everything's selling in one weekend.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, data, you can't skew data.
Right, yeah.
So I think to go, rule 31 days, it's still solid. If we even want to be kind of questioning here like we are, when it was at its highest peak over here, that was in the middle of COVID craziness. Crazy.
Even their home prices, 350 plus, that's still, it's not
it's
saying
a decent
that's
price.
not first time home buyer price, but a lot more times it's not necessarily a first time home buyer that's buying a $350,000 home.
Correct. Yeah. No, 360 is.
So
that's a decent chunk.
It does take some people out of it.
Right. Yeah, and big reasons too. For those of you that we've talked about this a number of times. You don't have to put 20% down, but if you're someone who's like, no, I want to do that, not have any PMI, all that kind of stuff. That's a $70,000 down payment. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of change,
right?
So again, yeah, it's a good point to look at. 360 probably because of being more land. If you have a nice house and land, it's just gonna get a lot of money,
right?
Because you're still in Livingston County. Livingston County is a very, very nice county here in Metro Detroit area. I think Livingston County is probably is it Oakland's probably the more higher priced?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say Livingston's probably got to be second.
Livingston's up there.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Or Washtenaw.
Washtenaw is probably, just because of Ann Arbor.
Yeah,
Ann Arbor is insane. It's almost like California style. You have a 900 square foot house and it's 500 grand. Good Lord. I just couldn't imagine that. You look at homes in LA and it's just this tiny shack for 1.1 million. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay a freaking $10,000 mortgage payment for the shack. I don't care how nice your freaking kitchen cabinets are. Good Lord. How do they live out there, man?
Not for me.
I remember when my parents went out there for one of their years ago. This is years ago. And they were at a diner and everything's just expensive out there, right? It's like 3 times a gallon of milk is 3 times the amount what it is here, right?
Right.
And my mom just was asked the waitress, how do you guys live out here? We were at the grocery store, and everything is 3, I could buy a whole cart and be a quarter of what you guys would pay here. Right. She's like, we work 3 jobs. I'm like, well, that sounds fun. California dreaming ain't dreaming. Man, that's what I'm trying to get Jess and for us to move to the South. I'm sick. I'm sick of this teasing freaking weather.
Oh yeah, the 80 degrees, and then
I want to move to Aiken, South Carolina.
Oh, that sounds nice.
right next to Augusta, Georgia.
I figured there was something.
Yeah. You know, I mean, the mild temperatures of the winter is 58 degrees. I'm like, babe,
Sun shining all the time.
all the time.
It's always sunny.
You know, and she's like, those summers. I'm like, I don't freaking care. What about our winters? Like, I'd rather suffer in heat than suffer in cloudy, freezing weather.
Yeah, but they probably have more mosquitoes down there.
They are a problem. She looked that up
I
real
believe
fast.
you have a family member who does not like mosquitoes.
I said he's got to. He'll toughen up. He'll just toughen up real fast. Is what I'm trying to. Yeah, that was a quick Jessica find on Google that they're known for horrible mosquitoes. She's like, do you know your son will just hate it? I'm like, no, he'd love it because he's gonna be in shorts and a t-shirt year round. He'll overlook the mosquito problem. Yeah. So let's see what the median days on market looks like. Again, this is the very middle. There you go, guys. I'm so glad that we pulled the median data. The average can be skewy a little bit because you have skews, right? Like the crack house
Right.
that was on the market for 750 days.
Just waiting for an investor to come by.
Yeah, or the seller to come to reality and realize their house is only worth 50 grand and not 150 they've been asking for the last 10 years. And then that's where the median comes up. For those of you who are like, hey, that average days on market doesn't make sense with how fast homes are moving. Well, here you go. Here's your median data. 9 days on market, which is up 12%. 12% of 9. I mean, like, dude, you're almost a whole day added in this bad market.
Bad.
One day.
Bad.
That's one day more on market is not good. No. That's just 24 hours of a few more eyes to see it. That's not good. Would that be bad, Johnny, if I said, hey, if you sold in fall and you sold today, it would have to be on market just one more day.
Yeah, that's bad.
Okay.
It's bad.
Fox News. It's bad. It's
Paul's still digging for your news station. He's still digging.
Still digging.
I'm trying to figure out what station it was.
He wants to break the news, bring it to you first.
Badmouth my local
I think
newscasters.
I'm just trying to go a little deeper into the scenario because maybe I'm just trying to find out who's his favorite news anchor, and then if they're ever doing a show, I could buy him some tickets, because it's his favorite station, stuff like that.
Can't do it.
That I learned that from being a really good spouse that I am, that you got to try to ask questions for hints.
Right.
For the next birthday or the next, Mother's Day is coming up, y'all.
Yep.
There's a good reminder for the audience.
Yep.
Don't forget about the mothers, okay? They're the one that brought you into this world. You better make them feel special.
Darn right.
May 14th. It's coming soon, y'all. If you haven't saved up for that, start saving your pennies.
All right, I'm going to mess this up because I believe you already know his favorite newscaster.
Who's?
Devon's?
Yeah.
So.
Isn't it? I'm Ron Burgundy.
Am I Ron?
Outside local news. Yes, he is my favorite.
Unique New York. How now, brown cow? Down into my belly. I have a special announcement to make. Cannonball! All right, so median days 9, up 12%. Horrible. Jeez Louise, we're in a bad market. It's going to take you 9 days to sell your house. Woo! Not good. Let's move on to what's the last one? What is
Month
it?
supply.
Month supply of homes. What do we got? Oh, my goodness.
Giant increase.
Wow. Guys, this is horrible. This is horrible. This should be like the title. Hartland, month supply has shot up 45%. Bad news.
Boom.
This is horrible. Real estate's collapsing. Grab your kids, grab your wives, grab your aunt, uncle. This is getting bad, y'all. It's up 45%, but only at 1.6. So you're telling me it was nearly at 0.9?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the graph doesn't really say that because the 1 is at the bottom. But wouldn't 45% of 1.6 be below 1?
So it would have been, wasn't it up month over month?
No, it's over 12 months, year over year. So I don't know. Maybe it should be 12 months. Yeah, it's 12 months. 3 years, 12 months. See it in the corner there. But still, I mean, does that scream we're in a bad market? No, because going all the way back 3 years, Hartland has been in a seller's market since then. If you are the first time listening to the show, maybe Hartland was one city that gravitated you to listen to this one. It's months of supply is determined by the homes available on the market to the data of how many buyers are in the market in the area. But it's also configured by whether you're a seller's market or a buyer's market. 6 months is the outlier. Well, not the outlier. It's the line in the sand. Let's put it that
That's
way.
what I was going to say.
It's the line in the sand between being in a seller's market or a buyer's market. 6 months. If you're below 6 months supply of homes, which Hartland has not even come close to 3 in a long time, half of that, it's still a seller's market, y'all. We need a lot of homes. A lot. I don't even know how many homes it would take in Hartland to even come close to being a buyer's market again. But, you know, at least Fox News, your local station, at least came to some grips and said, no, this is a great time to sell. No crap, dummy. We don't have any homes available. And I've been saying that from day one, that I don't care how high interest rates get. Excuse me. There ain't no homes available.
Nope.
So when your supply is down here, what is the business for 101, 401, whatever the frick it's called? When your supply is low and demand is, let's just say, steady. Because I know the saying is when your supply is low and the demand's high, you could argue to say, well, demand's not high right now, Paul. Okay, but supply is like, if this table was nothing, the supply is here, and you can't see it. Let's just say the bottom of the beginning of the graph, like supply is here, and a crazy demand is up here. Okay, we're still here. We're still higher than the supply. So that is going to make I don't care if you're selling houses or cars or toilet paper or orange juice. If you have low supply and the demand is still higher than supply, your price is going to hold firm. Mm-hmm. There's no reason for you to lower your price when you have little of what to sell, and
right.
So there's more people out there that want them than what you have.
Right.
So, guys, and I've been saying this for a long time, it's going to take a lot of homes. I mean, I know new construction's way behind even more.
Yeah.
We were already behind pre-COVID. Now we're really behind.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think that's a big data that gets overlooked a lot, not just pre-owned sales, new construction.
Right.
New construction is usually a big graph of like, what is the market like?
Right.
If there's a ton of new construction that isn't selling, well, guess what? You're probably in a buyer's market.
Right, yeah.
There's nothing moving. But they can't build them fast enough, nor can they get the supplies fast enough to build them fast enough. And who knows? Maybe Bill Gates should stop buying all the freaking private land for his fake meat production. No.
We digress.
Yeah. We'll not go there. We'll end this on a good note. Is this fact or fiction for Hartland?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Boom.
I mean, I don't know how many cities we've done, but every single one's been a thumbs up.
And I think out of all of them, only one has so far. At one point, one little point, man.
Yeah.
At a
I think that
buyer's market.
Was Milford, wasn't it? Because Milford, I mean, it's so small. Was it Milford? It was last week. It was
last week.
We did Milford in
Dexter.
It had to
So
be Milford. Yeah. Had to be Milford. Because it's just so small.
Right.
So small and like, yeah. I think it's just because it was Milford Township, the downtown area.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it just like there's
not a lot of
tiny. There's not a lot of homes,
homes.
no. So again, any little deviation just
Right.
we'll just tank it or whatever. So, but Hartland Township. Stay tuned to next episode 109. We are visiting Devon Carr's hometown, born and raised in Highland Township. Guys, he's going to be the host on that one. He's going to tell you all of his good childhood memories, the good, the bad, the ugly.
No.
His first kiss, his first buck, his first turkey, bass, his first hole-in-one, his first hat trick, his first pond goal, his first spill on his first training wheel bike.
Never happened.
I love that response.
happened.
Never happened. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Man,
never happened.
you fell off your bike?
What?
Shoot, man, you suck.
Yeah.
That was a good response.
Well, I'm interested to see if his childhood home is still standing. But we'll wait till next episode to find out.
It's way to leave a cliffhanger. Yes. Stay tuned next week. But thumbs up for Hartland. I'm Paul Seguin with eXp Realty.
I'm Devon Carr with Gold Star Mortgage.
This is the Carr and Seguin Show, and we put thumbs up everywhere.
Woo!
The primary purpose of this podcast series is to inform, entertain, and educate. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast series do not constitute legal or professional advice, opinions, or endorsements of any kind. Gold Star Mortgage Financial Group, NMLS 3446, Equal Housing Lender.